Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of Blood on the Tamesis, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Oxfordshire, England, 2012. With me tonight.
Philip playing Silas Shaw of Clan Bruya.
Bex playing Velvet of Clan Ventry.
And Carlos playing Theodore Penn of Clan La Sombra. Good news, Chad can hear us.
Yay!
Hooray! So thank you for being patient and bearing with us. Thank you also to people who pointed out some of my audio issues from last week's episode. We've taken some steps to hopefully fix those, so you should be able to hear me a bit more clearly throughout episode 3. So for anyone who didn't get a chance to see episode 2, essentially a lot of the episode was the coterie gathering allies to go on a hunt for Amago Takahisa, because Theodore and some of the other kindred of the city are quite miffed with him. They actually had a remarkable degree of success in recruiting people. And when we brought session 2 to a close, we had Theodore at the Haven, who was starting to speak to Meliori and Isabel and Saholder, who'd already arrived and are all agreed to go. We had Silas, who was gathering some of the Bruya, Finn and Kerstag, who are going to be going as well. And lastly, we had Velvet, who had managed to recruit none other than Sir Enolf von Bassensheim to the cause, and had been so successful that he had found himself on a horse, somewhat against his will, riding through the domain. So there is a, I guess, medium to high chance that this session is going to be somewhat actiony. And because of that, I think it is worth quickly establishing with the audience where you are in terms of any injuries to your willpower or your health. So let's very quickly start with you, Velvet.
I have all the will in the world. Hooray.
Excellent.
Oh wait, no, I think I've got 1. I think I spent 1 last time. And then I have 3 hunger.
Okay. So superficial willpower can recover.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, fine.
I know you are mid-ride, but I'm going to let it fly on this
That is very welcome news. I've always said you're the best GM.
Thank you. How about you, Theodore?
I am completely healthy, and I only have that 1 aggravated willpower damage from back with my...
A long time ago.
Yeah. I had fulfilled my desire from last session, and the other desire, like I think, getting to to understand the position of Sir William and recruiting the aid of Cheng Li, and now my desire is to make Takahisa pay.
Excellent. Noted. And I believe your ambition, Theodore, while we're here, is about free Oxfordshire. Is that right?
Yes. Theodore had a change of heart regarding his ambition of becoming someone of importance in Oxfordshire, like receiving a title or something, after the conversation he had with Velvet around the matters of lordship.
Anarchy!
Sort of. It was more of a Theodore no longer cares what fools think. He only cares what people he respects think. But that came in a good time, because he was in that process of changing his ambition when the events of last week happened, and the last season happened, and Helena proved to be less than worthy as a lord or ruler.
Oh, tough crowd. All right, so I believe that Velvet's ambition, also we didn't mention, is obviously to deal with
Shiv
scamp,
Wallace.
Sir Wallace.
Yeah.
Shiv Wallace, one way or another.
Or get someone else to do
Silas,
So Silas is full physical health, willpower. I have 4 aggravated still, which is that's worse than the physical health. That's so much worse. And I'm also on 3 hunger.
Excellent. All right, so let us begin with perhaps the most important role of today's session. So we're going to start with Velvet. You are a horse You were very gently trying to encourage this horse, because Velvet has ridden horses before, to make its way back towards the haven. And Sir Enolf had heroically charged alongside you and struck the flanks of the horse to urge it into a more appropriate kind of speed. And he then charged alongside you as you went off. And this, unfortunately, is going to prompt Velvet to have to make a roll to try and stay on the horse and control the horse. It is worth saying that whilst as a kindred, you are very unlikely to, suffer any kind of serious injury from falling off a horse or anything that's going to impair you for long, there is a risk you could humiliate yourself in front of the lord of your clan within Oxfordshire. So there is risks of stains in this action.
Of course.
So with that in mind, I would like, assuming that you don't just want to fall off the horse.
No, I mean, that's fair. That's the first one.
I would like you to make a dexterity and animal ken roll.
Okay. Well. There we go. Let me see if that worked. Did that work?
Just go straight to
okay. Yeah. On, it's dex, isn't it?
Yep.
So
Dexterity.
I don't have any modifiers for this, do I?
Well, unless you rouse for a blood search.
You can rouse the blood if you want.
Oh, it's too late. I pressed it.
Does risk you going more hungry, but you can rouse the blood.
There we go.
2 successes.
2 successes.
And a 10, yay.
No problems.
Yeah.
You will ride through the night with Sir Enolf. Not only does some of this horse riding come back to Velvet, also his subterfuge is high enough that he's able to mask the expression of terror and make it look like everything is fine throughout. Or you might be gripping those reins extremely tight, but nothing on your face betrays the fact that this is out of your comfort zone in the extreme. And you look pretty good on that horse. You like to feel.
Yes.
As you charge with Sir Enolf. And indeed, you will return to the haven without incident. Now, I remember that you said you wanted to try and take, if you like, a round the houses kind of route, so you were galloping down Main Street.
Well, he's covered in blood, isn't he, Sir Enolf?
He is covered in blood.
It's a bit of a problematic thing, really, down the high street.
He is covered in blood, and he does look. I mean, he looks kind of insane.
Yeah, exactly.
He's on a horse. He's carrying a large banner.
Yes.
And there is nothing normal about this setup at all.
So if we don't go down the roads, then obviously it's beneficial in that I can write this off as the hoax of a child or something in the press if he gets seen.
As luck would have it, because you do have to go through some roads and things to get to the haven, things are remarkably quiet in the times where you go out onto the main roads and off again.
Okay.
Which is good, because Sir Enolf isn't stopping. He's not like, oh, we should wait for the traffic, or we should wait till the coast is clear. He is just caught up in the moment and is thundering along. Velvet cannot be 100% certain that you haven't been observed.
Sure. Yep.
All. Certainly nothing has come to mind. Nothing has come up. You will get back, no problems. Let's just quickly deal with Silas, and then you'll all be in the same location. So Silas, you and Finn wanted to go and hunt, I believe.
Yep. Just before we move off to hunt, Silas will pull out his phone and ring Mr. Whispers.
Okay, so the phone rings maybe once, and then it is answered.
Hello. Just so you're aware, there's going to be a large group of us moving towards your side of the fence, moving through your side of the fence. You may want to escort, and more of you the better.
Something going on?
Yes, that you all may very well want to be part of.
What is it?
Can't tell you over the phone, but I'd love to tell you in person.
Okay. So we should all be there?
If you can.
Should I tell the Northern Gatekeeper?
I mean, she should probably be aware.
Right. All right, I'll let her know. She's going to want to know what is going on. She doesn't like groups of kindred coming in without knowing what's going on. She's very She's
11
very
p.m.
particular about that.
11 p.m. Are my place.
You want us to come to your place?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll get the others. Get the others.
Thank you. See you then.
Bye. Okay.
And then head up with Finn on the hunt.
Okay. So Finn says, "All right, no time for being gentle tonight. Okay, get this done."
Yep.
So he is going to proceed to go to the nearest pub. He is going to walk in. As he steps in, he looks to the nearest person. There's a guy kind of sat at the bar having a drink. Goes over to him, claps a hand on his shoulder, and smiles. And you see, as the guy turns to look at him, the guy's eyes widen in amazement. Finn just starts talking to him and dragging him off towards the toilets.
And Silas basically does the same thing. This is what they've done before in emergency.
Excellent. So I would like you to make a very quick, let's say charisma, persuasion, no, manipulation, persuasion, and presence.
Does my speciality for that kick in?
No, not well. No, unless you're going to make it sexual. No, you're not seducing them.
No.
If you want to make it like that, you can, and you can get your specialty.
I don't think he would at this point. To say.
Okay, you can have your looks count though.
Yep. Okay, so that is and subterfuge. You saying or persuasion? You said persuasion.
I'll say persuasion.
Yep.
Persuasion.
Manipulation. And that is 3.
As a quick note, Silas is working against the clock.
Yep.
So unless he's sipping for 1 level of hunger, so just taking a little of the blood, if he wants any more than that, he's either going to have to take a scene to feed, which is obviously going to mean he'll be much later to the gathering, or he's going to have to take the blood quicker, which will hurt the person you're feeding from. So I should say, what was your result, by the way?
I've got 3 successes.
It's trivial for you to persuade this person. When you really activate the full force of your supernatural charm, most people just crumble beneath it. And there's something gratifying in that. It never gets old, seeing people just be amazed by you, just like that. It's easy for you to get them somewhere away from prying eyes and to start feeding on them. So my question is Silas just taking a little? Is he taking his time to take more? Or is he going to... Is he going to accept that they can be hurt in order to get what he needs?
He's going to take 1.
Okay. There is a moment where you stop before you're satisfied. There's a bit of you that wants to keep going, but you don't. And perhaps there's something in that also feels oddly good, Silas. A moment of control back. Perhaps it's that he saw Jenny recently. Perhaps it's that he's been thinking about things a little differently lately.
Yep.
Nevertheless, there is a cold comfort to your kind of growling stomach as you leave. But you and Finn will be able to get yourselves done pretty quickly and make your way back to the Haven.
Yep.
So, make a very quick roll for Mr. Whispers. All right. So I believe the time that people were meeting to go do things was about 11 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yep.
Anybody wanting to do anything before 11 o'clock that I should be aware of?
Just waiting for people to arrive and get them to know who's here.
Sure, yeah, I'll go through that shortly. Anything from Velvet?
Well, I was hoping to text Adam, but I don't feel like that's viable on the back of this horse. So no.
So when you arrive, Velvet, at the Haven, an elf will dismount.
Yep.
Assume you will as well.
Sure, yeah.
He will just ride up to like the front of the house as you're directing him to go somewhere else.
Nope. I'm suggesting that he should go into the house. I'll try and take the horse somewhere. And unless he's talking to me.
No, he will just dismount and march into the house.
Okay, well, I'm expecting that Theodore's in the house. So I'll lead the horses somewhere.
Yeah, the horse allow you to lead it. When you go around the back of the house, you will see there is already a horse in the tennis court.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay. I try and tie these horses up in the tennis court somewhere.
Okay.
And then I go back in. Then I go back in the house. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to do at this point?
Oh, then I will. Well, once I've done that, then I'll text Adam and say, "There's trouble coming to the north because a group of people are going after Amago. So stay out of the way if you can." Obviously, I don't know. Someone's told him to show up, Silas. Right.
He will text. He will text. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Theodore, is there anything you wish to do before 11 o'clock?
I am basically taking care of everybody that has been coming, as in showing them to an area that they can wait with the rest as they show up, keeping tallies of who is where, making calls to Chen Li, see where she is. Basically, I think the only person I'm making a call to is Chen Li. And also...
And is that just to make sure that she gets to the Haven?
Yes. Or if she needs a lift or she needs anything.
Okay.
And I think just that, talking to our watchmen around the house, let them know that we're having a little bit of a social gathering.
Okay.
So they allow people inside the house if they mention that they have been summoned by me. Bring them to the front door.
They are a little twitchy, but there have been big events at the house before with lots of strange pale people. So, they've dealt with it. And obviously Vance knows the score, so that's okay.
Vance knows what's going on.
I probably should phone Sir Wallace if he hasn't shown up. But if he has, that's fine.
As Silas, when he arrives, we'll make a beeline for Theo as well.
Okay. So Wallace will turn up before 11 o'clock.
Good.
So we'll do a mini scene with him and Velvet in a minute. Silas, you said you want to go and see Theodore the moment you arrive.
Yep.
Okay. I think actually probably Sir Wallace will be first because you'll be back a little bit later from there, and then we'll go into the big powwow from there.
Okay.
Okay, so Velvet, you will be informed that Sir Wallace is here.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm assuming Sir Ranulph has made it into, like, the main room.
Well, yeah, he'll be with Theodore.
Fine, okay.
He'll be with Theodore and Meliore and Isabel.
Okay, well then I'll go and find Wallace.
Okay. So Sir Wallace will be probably waiting kind of near the door where he'll have been obviously stopped by some of your people.
Oh.
And they'll been quiet.
They've let him in, though?
Yeah, they've let him
fine.
in.
Okay.
And then they come to get you.
Okay, yes. Yep.
Basically escort them in.
Yep, fine.
Bring them to us.
Yep.
So Wallace will say, it's like you've got something going on here.
Well, looks like there's quite a few people of a similar mind, sir. I mean, Sir Ranulph is here. So, well, a lot of people from a lot of places. I'm glad you came.
Well, I'm not going to be staying.
Oh.
I understand that the business you're going about is an important one. But there are lots of things going on right now, Velvet. Not just about tonight, about what happens in the future.
I'd imagine so.
You, he kind of glances around a little bit. I've got other instructions that I must attend to, but I have managed to make sure that Seth will be available. This well suited to his skill set in any case.
Well, that is welcome news. He did say that he would be making a request of Sir Rafe.
And if you need sustenance before you attend to your business, I've informed Rupert to make sure something is available for you.
Well, that's mighty good of you, sir. I'm grateful to you. I will make sure that I'm in an appropriate state when I travel.
You see that Sir Anolf is here.
Right.
How is he? Don't worry about
He is,
and my feelings. You can be straight.
he's not in a good way, sir. I mean, I think he's in a good way to have a confrontation, but otherwise, I'm not sure. There's kind of a mess that needs cleaning up at his house. But I didn't see to it because he wanted to come directly here.
I've got some good news for you, Velvet. One of my current responsibilities is to make sure that his messes are cleaned up.
I understand.
But if he's planning on going on a confrontation, while I'm cleaning up the mess in his house, I would like you to make sure there are no further messes. Whatever you're going to do.
I don't think that's going to be an issue, sir.
Glad to hear it. And looks like he's kind of considering his words for a moment. He says, I would tread very carefully around him. Moment. Very carefully indeed.
He and I had an interesting conversation, sir. But I am confident that I know how to behave around him.
I'm not worried about you so much. Kind of looks vaguely in the direction, like deeper into the house. There's a lot of people here. Says not all of them know their manners.
Well, then, I guess that becomes their problem, don't it?
Well, if there are any problems, Velvet, let's see that it's theirs, not ours, okay?
All right. I'll do that.
And if there are any messes that you cannot clear up, I'd rather know sooner than later.
Understood.
Well then, I will leave you to it before I'm noticed here. Unless there's anything else.
No, sir, nothing else.
Nothing else. Good. And then he will leave.
Can I follow him?
Yes. You can totally follow him.
Like stealthily?
Do you mean stealthily?
Yep.
Yeah. He will...
Whilst he thinks I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah. So he is being alert, if you like, but he's not being alert behind him. He's looking out onto the street. He's looking the way he's going as he makes his way to his car.
Okay.
He will get into the back seat of the car.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to do before the car drives off?
Yeah, get in my car and follow him.
Okay. Cool. expected and cool. Your car isn't here. However, it's at Sir Enolf's place.
That's disappointing. Okay, I guess I'm not following him because Silas isn't here to jury rig a car for me, or is he? But not quickly enough.
Tell you what, I will roll a dice of chance, and if it comes up as a crit win,
Okay.
then Silas will be arriving at this very moment. Alas, it did not come up as a crit win, so Silas has not yet arrived.
Well, then I rush to my car to follow him to discover my car isn't there, and then go sadly back into the house.
I mean, you could. You are aware there are other cars in the garage. You could try and.
Oh, are there?
Steal a car.
Theo has a car.
Fine. In which case, I'll take whatever car is available.
I mean,
My car is available.
I assume though Theodore has the keys. Are they like hanging up in the garage?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, Theo's going to need his car to go on the mission.
I mean, Theodore might also be slightly upset if you steal his car, but I'm happy with that as a storyteller. You can totally nick his car. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, I can't. That's about. Wait, does Joanne have a car?
No, she doesn't even know how to drive.
She drives in my car. Never
Doesn't even
mind.
know how to drive.
Never mind. I will have to suck this up. No, I'm not going to steal Theo's car. I'll stay here.
Okay.
Someone has to look after the horses. And
You're not.
no,
Just to be clear, you're not following Wallace.
no, I
or
will.
doing
I
anything
will
else like
call. I will call Brick.
that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You phone Brick. A few times, and then once you'll hear him pick up.
I said I'll move this call. Sorry, can I make this call outside the house?
You certainly can.
Okay, I'll say to him. Hey there. Are you free to talk for a few minutes?
Well, I can give you a few minutes. No problem.
I just had a conversation with my sire, who is on his own this evening. There's something else big going on, and he's decided not to be a part of it because he is out cleaning up after Sir Enolf, who is with me. Now, I had planned on following him to gather information of sorts about what he's doing, and I can tell you at least one place he's heading to. I wondered if you had an ability to send someone to follow him. I don't have my car with me, or I'll be doing it myself.
Funny you should mention that. I'm quite good at following people. I happen to know some people that are good at following people as well. Tell me where he'll be. I'll do what I can see.
Well, I don't know if he's heading directly there, but he is heading to Sir Enolf's place. I'll tell him where that is. And he has, according to him, a duty to clear up the mess of last night, but that means more than one thing.
Point of order, it is not public knowledge where Sir Enolf lives.
No, I know that.
Excellent.
Yeah. I don't care who knows where he lives.
Excellent. So Brick will
He's very much the
take
only
down the
core
address.
entry. Oh, sorry, Peter.
So Brick will.
Yeah, so Brick will take down the address.
Okay.
He'll take down the address from you and says, see what I can find out.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course, perhaps it's me, but say he's on his own. There's lots of people very busy doing other things. As I understand it, Elysium is a little bit in question at the moment. I mean,
Right. You know, it also is
what happened. It's not really a prince to get upset right now.
well, that was a thought that crossed my mind, and as it happens, he is of the view that I'll be heading out with this larger group of people, but that is not the case. So I will be at your disposal if you can find where he is. By reason, if there's enough of us, we can do something about this. It's a legally tenuous position, if you ask me. And otherwise than
I'd
that,
rather be in a position that no one knows about it.
well, all right, I would rather be in that position as well. But since he and I is a short fight indeed, he and I and several others is a rather more tasty proposition.
See what I can find. Maybe you see who else is available. Or
All right.
whatever comes up.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So, finish your call. Silas will return to the Haven.
Yep.
And makes a beeline for Theodore. So I should say, but Silas, you will get back. There are still people arriving, but most people will be here. Theodore, most people who are gathering for this will be coming into the main room where you are. So,
what do we have so far? So I know Isabel, Meliore, Sir Engel are already here.
Yes, so Sir Anolf is already here.
Mm-hmm.
You will, of course, note that Sir Anolf has blood on his shirt and, seems unconcerned with this.
I offer him any change of clothes if he wishes so. Otherwise, we're waiting for the other people who joined us in battle.
He will wave away your offer, but not aggressively. He's just fine. So yes, Meliore is here. Isabel is here. You will also have Sir Holder here. And Cheng Li will be here.
Ooh, she's already here. That's good.
You will have had a message from Ota to say he's on his way.
Brilliant.
And probably around this point, Silas will arrive. I should say, where are you? Are you going back to the main room, Velvet, or are you just absenting yourself?
No, I want to stay out of Seth's way so he doesn't see me, and then start phoning other people.
Oh, actually, yeah, let me just think. Seth is not here yet.
Good, then I stay somewhere where he's not going to go.
Okay, so Silas, you will enter at this point. You see a room full of vampires.
Does he arrive with Finn and Sir Kerstag?
He will arrive
with
Finn, but not Sir Kerstag.
Okay. When he arrives, I thank Finn for joining us.
He says, wouldn't miss it.
Sir Kerstag will be joining us soon.
That's very welcome news.
I'm afraid Sir Douglas and Sir Marta were not there at the meeting. However, fruitful note, I was also able to get an address of where the prince was keeping Amago.
Oh, that is actually excellent news. I would imagine Sir Douglas and Sir Marta had more pressing matters to attend to.
Yes.
Finn, please. And I gesture for the waiting room.
Does anyone need? And I look to see if anyone needs a weapon.
Okay. So far, everybody that is here is either a Knight of Oxfordshire, Chen Li, or Finn and Isabel and Meliore. So no, I don't.
From Simon's point of view, Isabel does not appear to be armed, and neither does Meliore.
Then
it's fair to say, I think nearly everybody else. Oh, Cheng Li doesn't appear to be armed either. Are you asking any of them about weapons?
yes, Silas will ask them if they require a weapon, and if so, what sort of weapon would suit their tastes.
Okay. Meliore smiles at you. It's not a very pleasant smile, and will reach out and touch your cheek with a cold, clammy, dead hand.
She's the best.
Says, sweet. It just goes back to what she's doing. Isabel will open her handbag and show you the handle of what looks like a fairly heavy-duty handgun in there, and then close it again and says, "Thank you for your consideration."
You're welcome.
And Cheng Li says, "Thank you, but I have no intention of fighting."
Just in case.
Says, "I imagine that with you here, I would not need to fight."
I'm of the same mind, but
Good. Then we are agreed.
agreed. Yep. And then Sas will be doing the same. Be seeing if whoever comes next, if they got weapons, if they need weapons.
Okay. I think you're just waiting for the last people to arrive. I appreciate, Velvet, you are hiding. Seth will come in. He is armed. He has a shotgun and also a kind of an ammo bandolier on. And he looks pretty thrilled to be here. When he sees the room, he's like, well, damn. And, go and join the gathering. He will go and sit relatively close to Sir Enolf. Not, I should add, next to Sir Enolf.
Because he's smart, because he's not suicidal.
Sir Enolf, I should say, is sitting with Meliore and Isabel. So the last couple of people to arrive are Sir Kerstag, who will turn up in a long chain shirt with a fairly large-looking warhammer slung over her shoulder.
Yes.
And looking like she's, I would say, stepped out of history, but she's not wearing like ancient boots or ancient trousers. Just that she's put some chainmail over the top of the other stuff and a tabard and a thing.
Excellent.
Probably coif and all.
Oh yeah, coif as well, yeah. So for those people who are not keeping track, as a quick rundown, we currently have Silas, Sir Kerstag, Finn, Seth, Sir Holder, Sir Enolf, Isabel, Meliore, Theo, and Chengli, and lastly, Ota will turn up. He's obviously shown in. He looks very humbled in this massive assembly, and will give a little bow in the general direction of the room, but also to Theodore, and kind of linger by the door.
Ota. Domo arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much.
So this is a most august gathering.
Absolutely. I will make sure that it's a memorable night.
You will note, because it's not very subtle, Silas and Theodore, that when he comes in, you do see Sir Kerstag's eyes narrow suspiciously.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't do these kind of expressions by half, so you're very aware of it.
How close?
I think probably so is everyone else.
How close are we to midnight? Sorry, to 11?
Oh, very close, yeah. You're pretty much hitting 11. However, before 11 hits, some more people arrive. You're told that the Northern Veem are here.
And I remember to inform Theodore that I've contacted them. Moving through their territory are likely, so to keep it official, kept communication up over the years. Need to do the same. It's even more important to do the same now, and they might like to ride with us.
Well, a little bit of a heads up would have been appreciated, but I understand why you did it. So this address that you have on the place Amago used to be was in the northern. Yes, you did the right thing.
That pleasure to inform you sooner. Everything going on.
Understood. I will not assume that they will ride with us. You shouldn't either. I think it's best that they either make up their minds. But before, I would like to have a short word with them, just to inform them.
Yep, your show.
So let's go.
Yep.
You're going out to meet the Northern Veem, are you? Oh, I should say, Velvet, your Adam detector going off.
What the fuck has happened here? Right. How is this happening?
You're not in the main room.
Yeah.
You're nearby, but you will probably hear Adam's voice, because he's in the main kind of doorway with some of the others.
Okay, well,
and it will be Adam that... Once the Northern Veem are here, it'll be Adam that will be meeting Silas and Theodore if you're going to talk to him.
Yes, I'm going to talk to him.
So Velvet's coming out as well. Okay.
Yes.
So I
so the three of you will converge upon Adam, who is just kind of waiting in the door. I mean, he's been brought in, but he's...
I extend my hand to shake his.
Yeah, he'll shake your hand.
How are you, Adam? Apologies for what's going tonight.
I just interrupt you. I go, what the hell are you doing here? You have my text.
There is a possibility that the southern Beam takes a group of other kindred of Oxfordshire to the north. We wanted to make sure that you were made aware of it. And
that couldn't happen by phone?
No, it couldn't.
It couldn't happen by any means other than this.
But we're going north. The south is the safest place for them. So if they don't want to join us, they can stay in our domain until the matter is resolved. The north will burn if I have it my way. And I make that statement with enough strength to make everyone present understand how serious I am about this. And I'm not trying to social combat anybody.
Okay. Adam looks extremely awkward and says, well, we were brought here because we were told there might need to be an escort through the north, and we have to make sure that nothing burns. He looks at you, Theodore, in such a way that it draws the wrong attention in the north.
Should I ask you, Velvet, to make the necessary arrangements with Adam so between the two of you can work out what the Northern Beam can do to contain the situation? Effectively, let us go in, let us take care of things. The Northern Beam will be around it. I'm not expecting them to be in conflict. I expect them to be nearby just to deal with any possible aftermath.
I have another thing that I have to do this evening.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and if what you say is right, and there isn't any fighting to be done on behalf of the Northern Beam, then that is fine. They don't need my help. They can do their jobs.
Cool.
And yeah, I mean, we agreed I wasn't coming with you.
Yes.
Right.
But I just thought you were going to stay here.
I'm
Hold the headquarters.
Joanne can do that. You don't need me to do that. I'm helping to clear up after last night and other things that took place. So
Theodore does the math. He came with Sir Enolf. Enolf has a bloody shirt. Yes, of course.
Which reminds me, Silas, can I borrow your car?
Keys are always in there, you know that.
I take the keys and I go to the car.
He's using his bike.
Okay.
Of course. I check my time.
So, Velvet.
But I go via the kitchen.
Garage.
No, I go via the kitchen where I take the largest kitchen knife I can find. Because when he killed me, he cut my throat, and that's what I intend to do to him. So I am taking that with me. Now I'm going.
Excellent.
Before Adam leaves, Silas will ask if Mr. Whispers is with them, and if he might have a private word with her.
He says, I think that would be possible. Yes, she's not far.
Thank you.
Yeah. Theodore excuses himself and lets Silas that he will be addressing people so we can leave shortly. So Also, if you happen to...
Theodore returns.
Yeah, I'm going.
So Theodore removes himself.
But I tell Silas, if you see anyone outside, bring him here.
Yep.
So, yeah, basically what will happen is Adam will step out. You have this weird... You can't put your finger on what it is, Silas, but there's like something about Adam's demeanor that seems a bit odd to you. You can't put your finger on quite what it is. But anyway, he leaves. And he kind of takes a while to leave. And when he has left, about a moment later, Mr. Whispers will come in.
Guide
to...
to...
very stressed to you, Silas.
A quick wave towards probably the garage, which I'm pretty sure Velvet has quickly vacated through taking Sarah's car.
Okay.
Gone. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm okay. You're going into the north of Oxfordshire, the war party.
Yeah.
Nobody thought to ask the Northern Gatekeeper if that was okay.
Everything's happened so fast.
I don't think that's how she's going to see it.
I know. She's wearing her little veil that she always wears.
Yeah, she's got a veil, yes.
So I was going to come. She goes, may I?
Oh, why?
And we're going to fight someone powerful, and something I've been thinking about for a while. If you would, if I may.
No, I could. No, I couldn't. I'm not ready. I'm haven't done my. She starts to back out.
It's gentle hand on the shoulder. It's okay. Okay. You're okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Gently, I pulls her into a hug.
Okay. She will allow you to hug her, and after a while, she will very sort of tentatively return the hug.
And whisper in there. If you're there with us, stay back. Stay safe. Please.
I'm not worried about me. And she starts to go.
Mm-hmm. And Sales returns to the main room.
So, back in the main room. Everyone assembled?
Yep.
Okay. Is it 11 already?
Yes, 11 will come.
On my way to where we are, to where I'm going to address everybody, I stop by Ota, and in Japanese, I say, there are many who have made Takahisa the focus of their anger. I will make sure that that sentiment is not extended to the Tremere, the Tokyo kindred, or yourself.
He says, I would be very grateful if you would do this, but I fear it may be too late.
No, just follow my lead and say nothing. And then I address the people.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for coming tonight. The events of last night have left everyone in this room with a deep feeling, a hollow feeling inside. We have sworn an oath to Oxfordshire and to the late Prince Drogo, now and forevermore. The actions of Amago Takahisa were the actions of a man without honor. He came under the guise of a friend and abused, disrespected, and took advantage of Oxfordshire's hospitality. Now, some might say that a duel was fought. I'm not here to address the results of a duel. I have my very personal opinion about it, but this is not why we're here. We're here because Amago Takahisa spat on the face of Oxford. He abused the good hand the prince gave him and the friendship that we had secured. He was our guest. He was protected by us. And he betrayed us. Now I will ask of you to ride with me. His actions are his own, as I've been told. The Camarilla is a much stronger institution than this. And it's with the help of Clan Tremere that they will help us to get rid of someone who could very easily betray the hospitality of anyone else. Someone who will be seen as a traitor in Tokyo. Because he is. That is the reason.
There's been lots of nodding along throughout your speech. When you come to this part, Elf will say, "So Tremere have betrayed us also in the past. How can we be sure it will not happen again?"
Chen Li, a citizen of Oxfordshire. She is here to provide us with the certainty that she is looking after our interests. I trust her on this.
Then is your word that counts for her honor. If she betrays us, I will hold you responsible.
I would expect no less, sire.
Cool, he seems happy with that.
And I shoot a slight glance at Chen Li as if you mess up, I'll take you down before I go down. Now we have everything ready. This is also the first step towards an Oxfordshire free of deceit and the lies of those who threaten to tear us apart. Those who want to see us bloody and beaten. Helena will know that the will of Oxfordshire will not be broken with treason. We are stronger than that. Ota, guide us.
There are banging of weapons and things from people like Sir Kerstag and Finn and Sir Enolf. It was when you finish your speech. So it's not like an applause, but it is a rowdy kind of, yeah, let's go and fuck some shit up, basically.
Citizens of Oxfordshire, ride your steeds, be their flesh or metal. We're going out to dish out some justice. And I turned around, grabbed my sword and my gun, and I go to my car. And I get Ota and Chen Li in it.
Okay. So yes, this is always a good thing to establish. But as you are, people are kind of making their way to their various transports. So Enolf will say to Isabel, ride with me. And we'll take her. She, of course, looks like this is absolutely great. You know better. She will be taken with him.
I offer Meliore a ride. So she is with me and Ota and Chen Li.
She also, of course, and will come with you.
Yeah. Tu La Sombra and Tu Tremere get into a Ford Fiesta.
Jokes just right here, don't they? Silas, I assume you're going by bike?
Yep, and if there's anyone who needs to go on the back, you'll have them on the back.
Finn will have a car that he is going to be driving. And Sir Kerstag is going to be... Sir Kerstag is going to ride on the bike with you, I think.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, Sars look at it and just be, yes.
Finish the session. Nothing can be better than this.
Yes.
The highlight of tonight. Just
there is
see you next week. Bye-bye.
she's heading towards Finn's car, but then she'll see you have a bike, and then she'll be like, I'm going this way. And then she'll go. So, I believe that is everyone. And of course, we have a few people on horses.
Is Isabel taking my horse? Or does somebody have to deal with the horse, the remainder horse?
Velvet, of course, is not there, but no. Isabel is riding on Enel's horse with Enel.
Okay, so we've got another horse left.
It's just you have an extra horse, at least for now. I was not taking the extra horse with him. And I think your car is pretty full, Theo, so I think probably that means that Seth is going to go and ride with Finn.
I love this.
Well, oh boy. In the same car. Oh my God. That is going to be a fun car.
A fun car. Social combat over music alone could be a whole thing.
Okay, so Finn's going to be no help. There's going to be no help. I can take each other. Okay.
So, Ota will have done some kind of, whilst everyone is kind of getting themselves together, Ota will have formed some kind of Tremere sorcery, which of course Theodore does not entirely follow. But he will look pleased and he will say, it's this way.
And I start driving in that direction. I have him on the passenger seat. Mm-hmm. You know, literally within arm's, oh, sorry, you drive on the other side, arm's length. Should I need to just sorry?
He's sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Yang Lee's in the back with Meliore.
With Meliore, yeah. And Meliore, on the way there, I just adjust my rearview mirror to look at Chen Li.
Yes, understood.
So, as you can see, Sir Enolf is pleased with me vouching for you. If tonight is successful, he will also vouch for the Tremere.
She nods. Looks composed, but not exactly calm.
Yeah, misunderstood.
She does not look like someone in her natural environment. It might also be that Meliore is just kind of staring at her, which maybe isn't helping. I should say Meliore is smiling, but that doesn't seem to be helping much either.
Yeah, actually, that makes things worse.
Well,
I mean, let's face it, I love her. She's my grandma, but I do tell her that not only Sir Enolf could vouch for you. We will be pleased. I'm sure. I speak for my line when we say we will vouch for the Tremere if they help us get rid of this threat, and we can find more.
So I will come to Velvet.
Sure. Yeah.
Let me just deal with the convoy for a minute. You roar out from the haven, or gallop in some cases. It is worth noting that this gathering of people is nothing even close to subtle. Not even in any metric by which you measure these things. There is no subtlety.
It's like what, 3 cars, a motorcycle, and 4 horses, or something.
It's something ridiculous like that. So Theodore, you are in the lead.
Yeah.
And this is going on.
Yeah, I have my gun by the side, on the door. Because the good thing of driving in Britain is that I can use my right hand to shoot instead of like awkward. That's nice.
You will get, Silas, by the way, a kind of monologue from Sir Kerstag where she's moaning about the fact. She's like, there's no Nosferatu. This is intolerable. What are they doing on horses? They're idiots. She's like clearly irritated with this whole state of affairs. You just kind of get it in your ear. Because obviously you're riding on a motorbike and it's quite loud, she shouts for your benefit so that you can...
It's a pity. It's a pity Sir Francis couldn't join us.
Sir Francis has not turned up to join you, it's worth saying.
I'm sad. I know she would have loved it.
I mean, Theodore and Silas both have their grandmas with them.
Yeah. So the thing that becomes apparent fairly quickly once you start traveling is that you are not traveling north towards the address that Silas found for you. You are not going towards the place that he stayed whilst he was a guest of Drogo's. You are, in fact, heading south.
Ooh.
And you travel for some time. The horses, I should add, are not ordinary horses. They are Gould horses. And they are swift horses. They are not, however, as fast as cars.
Of course.
It does slow you a little, but not horrifically. But I assume also you're kind of stretching out a little, a little ahead of them anyway as you travel.
Yes.
And time will pass as you go. Eventually, however, there will come a point where you will become aware that Sir Hulda is signalling for you to come to a halt.
Can I do that?
And she will ride up to where the car is. She will say, "We are reaching the edge of my domain."
How much further, Oda?
I will say, I cannot say quite how far, but he says, it is. He says, I see it goes long into the distance.
Which domain would we be entering?
Well, you're going to be leaving Oxfordshire.
Yeah.
And then you won't instantly hit anyone's domain. You'll be in a kind of no man's land for a bit. And then it kind of depends where you go.
So I mentioned that to Sir Hulda. It's like, I know we're leaving the domain, but it seems that he knows he's not wanted.
She says, I will hunt him whilst he is in my domain, but I will not hunt him across the country. My duty is here.
I'm sorry to hear that, but my duty is to uphold my oath. Thank you for your company so far.
Okay.
Basically,
She also says,
I'm wasting time. Sorry, she says?
Yeah, understood. She will say, what about her? And she'll look at Cheng Li in the back of the car.
What about her?
She says, should she be allowed to leave Oxfordshire?
I'll take it, and I have said it before and I'll say it again. She's coming out. I'm escorting her. I make it my personal responsibility.
Very well. And then she'll say, good hunting. You'll salute.
I get in the car and book it.
Okay. So you book it on. And you leave Oxfordshire behind. And after a while, because it's not the first time that you've made a journey like this, you realise you are heading towards Reading.
Okay.
Of course.
Of course.
And when you are kind of reaching a point where you think you're probably going to hit the border of Reading, you will see a car kind of parked at the side of the road. It's flashing its lights to try and get your attention. You will see someone trying to wave you down.
I slow down.
Stopping?
I'm slowing down to see who it is.
All right, so when you slow down, and Silas, obviously, as the convoy slows down, you will see this as well.
Yep.
There is a man with quite short-cut hair who is wearing a blue suit, who you will recognise. He was, a long time ago, a messenger sent from Reading to Drogo, who Drogo staked and then sent back to Reading as a statement. And you will know his name is David. You will know that he is a Ventry of Reading.
Okay. Yeah, I slow down to where he is.
Are you coming to a stop, or are you just kind of cruising past him?
Oh no, I will stop.
Okay,
because
so
I'm ahead of everybody else, so I probably have a few moments before.
Yes, well, certainly before Enolf will catch up with you.
Yes.
He says, good evening.
Evening.
I'm My name is
David, I know.
Yes. And I am here because there seems to be more than he's looking at the kind of car behind, like people in the car and the car behind. He says more than one of you coming into Reading, and we are not aware of any such visit.
Funny.
Did?
Your point is?
My point is, if you wish to come into the domain, then you should be communicating such things with the prince.
And I believe we're not understanding each other. Let's see. Tonight is a very unfortunate night for you.
His eyes widen slightly, and he says, I don't follow.
I do. I start walking towards him because I assume I get out of the car and went to where he was.
If you like, Silas, are you just pulling up nearby, or?
Silas will pull up nearby, hand very obviously on the hill of us.
Yeah, so David will be taking in some of these facts starting to pick up around him. He looks very nervous. And I should say, like, Finn's car will also be kind of pulling up to a stop as well.
How is the lighting right now?
There are some street lights. It's a main road, but it's not perfect. The lighting is not perfect.
Cool. This is very unfortunate. You see, what's the protocol for someone who betrays the hospitality of Reading? What do you do?
Well, I'm hoping you're not about to betray the hospitality of Reading, and that's really
not at all.
I'm
asking. Answer the question. What is the punishment for people who betray the hospitality of Reading?
He's about to answer your question, and there is a sound like thunder. You, Silas, will see that what's happened is that Seth has leaned out from the car with a shotgun and has pulled the trigger.
Yes,
David's face.
Thank you. He saved it to me.
There is
I love my uncle.
There is a kind of an explosion. This happens. You obviously hear the shell like fly over your shoulder, Theodore. You see David slam back into because he's got out his car. He slams back into the car, kind of rocking it, like calling out in pain, putting his hands to his head. He is not. He's not kind of out, but he is seemingly unable to. He's impaired. He's in a pretty bad state.
Oh no! I take out my gun, put it under his chin, and tap 2 caps.
Okay.
If that brings him final death, great. If not, great.
More shooting.
Are you bothering to check?
Well, mine has a silencer. That's why I'm doing it twice.
Okay.
I am. Yeah, I'm bothering to check that I blew his brains out, and that's it.
His lifeless final dead corpse hits the floor.
Turn around.
Seth goes, yeah, and then looks really pleased.
Walk to the car and move on.
I kind of turn to the person and go, I saw that coming. I thought it was going to be so enough, to be honest.
And I start driving. I was hoping to get some information.
Kerstag will say, there goes the politics.
Yeehaw.
So as you all pull out, most people, because they're ancient and dead, seem completely unconcerned by what has just happened. However, Cheng Li is staying very quiet in the back of the car now. She's just like really demure, really quiet, really like neat. It's like she's somehow become smaller and less noticeable since this happened. Ota too is smiling, but maybe that smile is a bit too broad now, a bit too forced, a bit too regular. Make any jokes, he will laugh at those jokes. You know, that kind of air to things.
I just get in the car and keep on driving. Probably having a chat with Meliore of how they changed that service because that used to have like a Costa coffee and now has a Starbucks, and that sucks.
Actually, I should say, as you're pulling away, there is something does happen. I say that you're driving away. Silas, you'll probably see this more, and that is that Finn and Seth do briefly go and tend to where David in the car is. They don't immediately follow. It's fair to say that you haven't, they're not gone long, because as you're traveling down the road a little bit later, you will see them in your rearview mirror catching up. So, diplomatic business aside, you continue on to Reading. Ota continues to give you directions. He still seems to be able to, you don't know how he knows where to go, but he seems to have some sense of where it is. I'm assuming you are trusting him and following his directions without question.
Yes, I'm making the situation, if it was uncomfortable, I'm making this very clear to him that the situation does not bother Theo and also Meliore at all. So if violence has to be visited upon him, that was a merciful way to go.
I should say that every time you do this stuff, whether it is kind of like verbally or non-verbally, Meliore will quietly do whatever she can to make that worse somehow.
I love her.
So consider that you will have automatic assists to any intimidation checks or other business.
Yeah, I'm trying to persuade them, because right now we're on friendly terms. I'm just trying to persuade them to maintain the friendly terms. You are helping because we have a Boon, but it would be very bad for you if something were to go not the way I want to.
Okay. So I'll come back to you crazy folks in a moment. Velvet, you've got a car. You've got Silas's car, even better.
Yep.
What are you planning to do with it? Where are you going?
So
are you going anywhere?
So I need to get hold of some other people to put them on notice in case Brick comes back to me, and that would include Soap and Barnaby and I can't remember Bex. Can't remember who the other people were in this group of people. But so that
Bex, Soap, Barnaby, Adam, I believe.
Adam, yeah. Okay. So we'll leave Adam out of this. No, actually, I will call Adam. So that I'm just intending to put them all on standby to say that actually there might be an opportunity to move against Sir Wallace this evening, so that I will let them know if that is coming to take place. Then I'm going to go change my clothes so that I'm not wearing anything that's even remotely remarkable.
In the Haven?
No, probably at the flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you are in your flat getting changed, your phone will ring.
Yep. Okay.
It is Vance.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
What's up?
There's
What's up, man?
someone at the is here. They're asking to see you, sir.
Name?
Matthew Smith, I believe. That will ring a bell to Velvet. He is the person that spoke for you when you needed people to speak for you back in the day.
Yes. I'll say, well, I'm a little bit far away now. If he's standing there, can you put him on the phone?
Yes, one moment, sir. So there'll be a brief crackle on the handset, and then you will hear someone else's voice say hello.
Matthew?
I need to talk to you.
All right. Where does it have to be tonight? Can it be tomorrow?
It has to be tonight. Now, has to be now.
All right. Where do you want to meet? You want me to?
Anywhere. I don't care. Do you want me to come to you? Where are you?
How far away am I from the Haven?
Oh, half an hour away.
Okay, fine. I'll say, you wait there, and I will come back. You
quickly.
Put Vance back on the phone.
Yeah. One moment. Right. So you'll hear a crackle again, and then yes, sir.
I'll say he's going to wait for me right there. So if you make him comfortable, just in point of fact, he's like Theodore and I. So just watch your step. Leave him to himself.
Is he likely to be a problem, sir?
No, he's not likely to be a problem. I don't know what's wrong with him, but I'm coming back all the same. But it'll take me 30 minutes or so to get there. But if he looks like he's going to lose his shit, then get out of the house.
Understood. I get a sense for these things, sir. And in my line of work, he says, I think this one as well. I think the sooner we have him out of here, the better.
It did sound like that, didn't it? Well, yeah, I'll be back. So, but yeah, keep him happy. And I'll put the phone down. I mean, I'll finish changing, and then I'll head back to the house. To the Haven, sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
When you get there, you will find a man who is sort of fairly smartly dressed, but wearing like a large overcoat over all of that. He's got a scarf wrapped up to his nose. He's wearing a hat.
Yep.
Nevertheless, because it's quite a well-lit room, the skin of his face that is visible is translucent enough that you can see the veins very clearly shining through the skin. And if he blinks, you can kind of see, again, the tracery of the veins, but also very clearly like the eyes beneath.
Okay.
He is a Nosferatu. He is, you will know, the child of Sir Francis.
Yep.
He's very rarely involved in things. You've had very little to do with him in all of your time in Oxfordshire. He looks, well, I should say as well, he has a bag over his shoulder.
Okay.
That is full of stuff.
Okay.
He looks shifty as all hell.
Excellent.
I'll say you know that kind of stuff.
I know shifty.
You know shifty.
I mean, if I wasn't rich, I would look like him, right?
Yes.
So, I will. I'll say to Vance, leave it with me, and I'm sure you have other things to attend to. And then I'll offer him a seat.
Yeah, he'll sit down like someone who doesn't want to sit down, but he will nevertheless sit down.
So, what can I do for you?
I've come to call him my boon.
I imagine that might be the case.
I need you to get me out of here.
What, out of Oxfordshire?
No, it's out of the country, ideally.
Out of the country?
Yes, tonight.
Do you have someplace you want to be? Someplace you want to go? And are they expecting you?
No.
You're kidding me, right? You want all this for a minor boon? I don't think so.
I'll owe you more. I don't care. What do you want?
Well, that doesn't help me right now. Yeah, what I'm saying is that I have other things I have to take care of tonight. What is it that is creating this problem for you now?
This is one of the first times I've had the chance to get out.
I know what you mean.
She's distracted.
Okay. All right. Do you know anyone in any other domain? Because you can't just rock up. You know that as well as I do.
I just need. I don't look. I'll owe whatever. I will be good for it. I just need to be gone. I can't go anywhere close because she'll find me.
All right.
I need to put water between us.
Okay. So do I know from any of my political dealings any kindred in any other domain that I can call? I'm just wondering if I know anyone in America, because that would be my easy.
Yeah, because you did make a trip out there. I don't think it's unreasonable that you know someone out there. I mean, you're not like mates, but you probably have a name you could call. You could probably do like a favors swap. There are things you could make happen.
Okay. I'll say, traveling overseas is not exactly easy for us. So I can probably sort you out with something, but I don't think that it's going to be particularly comfortable. And it takes time. And it's probably going to be the States.
That's good. That's good.
And it's probably going to be New Orleans because that's where I come from, so it's where I know people.
As long as it's not here and not Spain, fine.
But I don't know if that is even possible for me to do in one night. So we might want to think about an interim. Somewhere you can go outside of, like for tonight. If you genuinely think that she is going to come after you before tomorrow, then...
I don't know. When she notices she'll come, I don't know when that will be. She's busy, like I say.
How do you normally talk to her? In person?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Live with her under the city, under the library.
Right. Okay. Let me make some calls. Stay here for now. If anyone asks, then we can always say that you were here because you were concerned about something, or you were bringing the Southern Veeam information or something of that sort. So
I haven't told anyone I'm coming here.
That's all right.
I made sure I wasn't seen.
It's all right. It's just there is a possibility that at some point this evening a lot of people will come back here. So I need to think about making these phone calls now.
Yes,
and seeing what's possible.
I'll be
All
discreet. I'll make sure they don't see me. I'm good at being discreet.
No, if they're coming back, then you and I can leave because I've got no desire to be here when these people get back either.
Relieved.
All right, just sit tight, and I will make some calls, and I'll see what I can come up with. So I will call whoever I know in the States, and I will. So this is a kindred, yeah. So I will outline the situation to this person and say, and ask, what is the cost of arranging for this person to have an opportunity to be accepted in there? And can I, if I could organise the logistics, because I think probably I can, given my kind of family connections. But obviously, yeah.
Sure.
I'm expecting to have to do this.
So my question really... Yeah, so my question to Velvet, is Velvet trying to profit out of this set of exchanges?
No.
Okay. So to cut a long story short...
He's willing to offer this person something for this. But, yeah.
If Velvet is willing to owe a favour, this will be a relatively trivial thing to do.
Okay. Yeah.
In terms of, they will say, yeah, fine, if I know that I owe you, and they will probably also want him to owe them, they will then make sure that everything is fine. They will see that as a reasonable cost.
Yep.
They will, if you are communicating that it has to be super quiet and subtle,
yes,
and they will probably up the cost.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think that is something he can arrange, but we don't need to kind of worry about the details.
Yep.
The critical thing for me to know right now is that that's where you're sending him, and that you are intending to make this happen.
Yes.
So, good. So, we left our envoy, who left Oxfordshire and entered the domain of Reading, and have had an encounter with David, who has now been finished off, and I'll zooming along down the road. Cheng Li says, very quietly in the back of the car, there was something strange about his eyes.
Whose eyes?
Bentry's eyes.
What do you mean?
Don't know, he says.
Do you think he was... He had some sort of sorcery? Apologize, I don't know if it's something that you saw that is supernatural.
It was like, yes, it was like something had been done to him. I don't know.
Something has been done to him. Well, I do find very odd that someone would be patrolling this particular area precisely.
Theo gives a shrug.
I just look at her over the rearview mirror and saying, could be Amago. He could certainly enforce his will on others.
It's worth saying, when you look at her through the rearview mirror, you do not really see her per se. When you see her shape, there is something about it that is disturbing to the eye. I mean, you're not surprised by this. It doesn't make you lose control of the car or anything. But the thing in the mirror is not the thing that you can see when you turn around in the seat. There is a distortion and a sort of a disconnect between what you're seeing and what your brain is trying to process when you look through the mirror. Nevertheless, you drive on. You are moving out of kind of main roads and onto much quieter roads, and you seem to be moving not towards the main city itself, but towards some kind of industrial area. Not the one you went to last time you were here, but not an entirely different feel, nevertheless. But this seems like further out from the city. So it's within Reading, but it's not like in the heart of Reading that you're going. And Otto will say, I think we are not far. I think I see the end of the trail. Kind of squinting off into the night. You can't see, well, you are starting to see a building in the distance. Looks like a large factory to you.
Okay. I approach just a little bit more as I slow down until he can, confirm that in the distance the trail ends in the building.
Sure. So you begin to slow down. Now, Silas, you're on a motorbike, so you're the first one to see this. As you're driving along, and I should say, just so you get a sense of, you're on a fairly solid road, but it's not like a main road. It's not that well maintained, so it's a little bit bumpy as you're driving. It's got the odd little pothole and things in it. And just to the side of the road is just kind of scrubland, predominantly. It's little tufts of grass growing and little bits and bobs, but not. There is neither kind of like a decent set of kind of nature and wildlife, nor is it been kind of treated. It's just kind of ugly land, really. And you will see there are a few places where people have just dumped rubbish here and things over time. You're also aware of this big factory. There are some lights in the building, but not many. But there is the sign that it is occupied in some sense. But the thing that draws your attention, Silas, is not that. It is a helicopter that seems to be flying towards you.
Well, shit. Can you need Jeep leave as high as Sir Douglas? I've said that too.
Looks up and says, I can jump, but not that high. Not a cricket.
When it gets a bit lower, do you want to...
If it comes low enough. He looks at you.
Oh, yes.
How much do you weigh, Silas?
Silas, we get an approximation of how much he weighs.
Yeah, like 120 kilos of muscle.
Yeah. She says, shame there isn't someone like Barnaby here.
Well,
so as she's looking up and you're looking up, you, Theodore, will start to hear the helicopter as it's flying in. Around that point, Ota does confirm with you. He says, yes, the trail ends there. Then he too starts to kind of pause as you can hear the kind of... I mean, it's not hugely loud because it's not that close, but they're not quiet things, helicopters.
So a helicopter is approaching.
Helicopter is approaching.
Okay, so I wait until everybody's here.
You're coming to a stop?
Yeah, I'm coming to a stop. Away enough that we're not seen, but not so far away. And the moment the helicopter starts, like it's inside or really close, I will start, driving. The thing is, I want to see how many people arrive in the first batch, so I can start conveying instructions. So I think what I want to do is basically get a quick lay of the land of what is our best and only approach. I would assume that the moment the helicopter touches ground, Amago will be going in it. So we have to be swift.
So you come to a stop, and Silas will catch up on the motorbike pretty quickly, and Finn will be not too far behind because he'll have been catching up over this time you've been traveling. They are the only people who are here at the moment. Your 2 cars and a bike.
Okay.
The helicopter does not look like it is coming down to land at the moment. It looks like it is flying towards you.
Towards us.
About how far is up?
How far is it up? It's hard to gauge exactly. It's quite high, not flying down really low.
Right.
Chen-Li, Ota, what can you tell me of that?
Okay, they will both peer out of the window and begin to stare at it. Silas, you doing anything I should be aware of?
Silas is going to turn to someone and go, if I jump off your hands, maybe would that bridge the gap?
Oh, Silas, you're too big.
I can
not get it.
I start approaching. It's like, so
you're getting out of the car?
Yeah. I'm outside the car because I want to talk to the other people.
Okay, so you get out of the car. The helicopter continues to draw closer. But do you want to say anything immediately, or are you waiting for Cheng-Li and Ota to say anything?
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to tell me something, and I asked the same question to the others.
All right. So Ota will say, Alto is in that helicopter.
I just say under my breath, now I wish I could jump as high as Sir Douglas.
It's around that point a very bright light is switched on the helicopter, like a searchlight, which shines down on your kind of general group. It is very blinding. Ota will call out in pain and sort of almost like he's been struck physically, and he kind of staggers back trying to cover his face.
I start shooting at the light.
So you start shooting. It's actually very hard to see it because of the height of the helicopter and the range of your gun firing up into the air. Mm-hmm. How kind of serious are you? Are you going to keep firing until you take that light out?
I am very serious, yeah.
Okay. So you fire some shots. The first few, you're trying to find your range. Mm-hmm. And then you hear quite a loud retort. And Kerstag flinches. Sorry, not Kerstag. Ota calls out in pain a second time, but this time not because he's been struck by some light, but because he's been shot by a very high caliber weapon. And he slams against, he falls to his knees.
I tell Chen-Li to take care of him.
I'll say at this point, Silas is pulling out a fucking longbow. And he's going to try firing a longbow.
So this time, if you're going to start firing at the helicopter, you are welcome to roll. Let me tell you, though, that it is keeping at a very, very extreme range. And so I know that you have a longbow and you're very strong, but your odds are very remote. That's not to say you can't roll and tell me you got 100 successes and a crit win, and you flex your muscles, but just to say it is very, very unlikely. And Theodore, your handgun also is going to be struggling to hit anything. But again, if you pull off the shot of the century, you can totally do badass things.
Let's see. I'm going to rouse.
Yeah, okay. Silas is going to... I'm not going to rouse for this. That's that and that, and there's no additional dice for that.
So you notch an arrow, Silas, and launch it into the sky.
6 successes, critical win.
I have 5 successes, critical win.
You're aiming for the light, Theodore.
Yes.
And Silas, you're aiming for?
If Silas would have an idea of where the shooter is, he'd aim for the shooter, if not the light.
Okay. I mean, the answer is no, you don't, because the light is obviously in front of the shooter.
Then it'd be the light.
Okay. Perhaps in years to come, Silas and Theodore may argue about who it was that pulled off the military shot that destroys the light on the helicopter. Nevertheless, what is indisputable is that the light is destroyed. And the helicopter will begin to bank upwards, kind of away. But in the moments where that happens, where you're shooting the light and before that kind of resolves, there is another shot from the helicopter. And this time, Theodore, it is you that is hit.
Ouch.
It will do you 3 superficial, halved and rounded up to 2.
2. And I roused to
Heal.
To heal. Yeah, no, but I failed my rouse check for the shot.
Okay.
So I'm a hunger 2.
Hunger 2. So one thing, Theodore, you've been shot before in your life.
Yeah.
So the thing you're aware of is that whatever shot you, it really kicks you. I mean, Theodore is pretty much knocked down by the shot. It is a powerful shot. Luckily, it is not a shot that hits you deeply or in the head or anything serious. So yes, even though it is a glancing blow, it kind of knocks you partly off your feet.
Yeah.
However, the helicopter is no longer shooting at you at this point. It is trying to veer out of your weapon range.
Excellent. I heal the superficial. I succeeded on my rouse check, and I just tell Silas and Sir Kerstag, like, how far are the others?
Not far.
The bullet falls out from the wound. Your blood knits itself and the skin back together.
I grab the bullet.
Okay.
Just because he will tell me about the caliber, the type of gun, and all of that. Also, I keep it with me.
You have the bullet.
Yeah,
Kerstag says, "We're not going to sit here and get shot at, are we, Silas?"
Oh, nope. Let's. I wish I could fucking get up there.
Well, we can't. She says, but we can go there.
Yeah.
He points.
I approach Ota.
Okay.
Are you okay?
He nods. He also seems to be there is blood, but he's not bleeding anymore. And he looks shaken, but he says, I will be fine. What is a little bullet to a dead man?
Wakata. Understood. We're going in.
Because the trail ends there. Ends in the building.
This is where you... This is all the way you're coming with us?
Looks up at the helicopter and says, I will stay with you a little longer.
I thought you might. Stay close to me. Chen-Li, do not leave my sight.
So the helicopter
I will protect you.
Okay. You're not sure if she's reassured or intimidated by this, but she does stay with you. So the helicopter now looks like it is making its way towards that factory building itself. What are you all doing?
I get in the car.
Okay.
Oh, I get in the car and I start driving in that direction.
So how fast...
Change the clip, make sure that the bullets are there.
You reload your gun. Are you flooring it? Are you cruising? What's your approach?
I am flooring it, especially if there is like a gate or something that I have to ram.
There is a roar of engine. You go. You will have Kerstag prodding you in the back, urging you to go faster, Silas.
Yep. Open up.
And you make short work of the rest of the distance between here and the factory. You can see some doors to the factory, like main doors as you're approaching. There is, I should say, this factory, although there is the odd light on, it does not look like it's being well looked after. You know, the outside of it looks a bit dirty. It looks like a place that's predominantly shut down. And actually, as you get closer, what you realise is that some of the windows have been boarded up, and there might be more lights on than you first thought. It's just that most of them are obscured from a distance. A helicopter will reach the top of the building before you do. Looks like it's setting down to land.
Okay.
However, you're not far behind it because you are going at full whack in your vehicles. Anyone doing anything wild or crazy that I should be aware of as you're pulling up?
Cyrus is going to curse and go, let's go top down.
So I should say this is not a low building. It is a high building.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She will say, let's go bottom up.
Okay.
She will, the moment that the motorbike stops, unless anybody's giving her some kind of combat advice, she is going to do something.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I'm waving, like I'm signaling so we could sort of spread out instead of all being together in like sitting ducks.
Okay.
And then I get out of the car, take the katana, unsheath it, and the gun on the other hand, and I start approaching the building. And I just tell Ota and Chen Li, walk closely behind me. Meliore, shall we?
So Meliore, Cheng Li, and Ota will all come with you, Theodore.
Okay.
Seth will say, I'll go around the back. Get you inside.
Seth. Where he's Seth and Finn. If you reach the helicopter, take the tail propeller. It can't go anywhere with that, and it will be easy to tear.
Seth gives you a salute with a shotgun, and then Finn will drive around the building at some speed. Kerstag will basically charge towards the front doors without any other kind of business. Are you going with her, Silas?
First, I'm with Grandma.
Okay, so there are two Bruya running towards the main doors.
Yep.
And I assume the rest of you are coming up kind of behind them. Is that correct, or am I incorrect?
If there are other doors, I would approach a side door, but if not, I go through the main one.
Unless you're going to check around the building for them, you can't see any on this side of the building.
No, I just go behind them.
Okay, cool. Theodore, it will strike you, by the way, you can't see Enolf anywhere yet.
Understood.
I'd say he isn't on his way, but he's not here right now.
Yeah.
So, Silas, you charge forward. I'm assuming you have got your potence active and various other things active.
Yeah, I will now rouse for prowess because I have to rouse for that. But yeah, everything is good. Yeah, lethal body. Soaring leap is ready to go. So if there are any more,
are you leaping at the door? You can leap through the doors if you want. I would add the doors look like they are secured, quite firmly secured. These are not doors that look like they could be open anytime soon. There is a chain.
Are there any windows nearby?
There are. And the ones on the lower level are all boarded. In fact, now you're close. This building looks like it is being secured in such a way to make it very hard to get into.
Do the windows above look like they've been boarded?
Yes. One or two look like they've been partially boarded. Theodore, as you approach, light's not amazing, but it's now good enough through the cracks that are coming out. You can see there are security cameras, and unlike the rest of the building, these look new rather than old.
Okay.
Silas, where are you going? I need to know.
Cyrus is going to kind of point to one of the ones that seem to be less well boarded up and leap towards it.
Okay. Kerstag will just leap, but not towards one of the windows. She will leap at the doors, and she will go through them.
She is the.
There is a scream of chain. There is the sound of splintering wood, tearing metal, and she goes through.
Yes.
Silas, you leap towards one of these boarded windows. I'm not going to make you roll because you are also a ridiculous powerhouse when you are pumped up. So you will smash through these boards. You know, a normal person would probably bounce off. But you go through. I am, however, going to deal you 1 point of superficial damage.
Fine.
Don't worry, I've also dealt it to Kerstag. Because when you
to the battering grandma.
Using
who did battering when we got grandma?
Yeah, who needs a battering ram when you have a battering grandma?
So, Theodore, I assume you have weapons in hand and you are going in behind Kerstag.
Yes, indeed.
So, Silas, you are in a slightly different position to Theodore. But all of you, as you come in, will find yourself inside a large, what looks like a bottle factory. Is not currently active. There is lots of machinery around. It is a very large open space. There are kind of walkways between the machines. The machines are such that because you've got like little rails for the bottles to be taken around, you can see through. So it's not like it's a perfect cover. You can see through to things and people, but there is also quite a lot of things to hide behind should you wish to do so. It will immediately become apparent that there are quite a few people here in this factory.
Yep.
Theodore, you will recognize, not necessarily that you don't know lots of them, you will recognize by style of dress and from the brief time you spent with them when they came to visit court, these people are Amago's people.
Okay.
Some of them, it feels like you are looking into a window of your own past. Because some of the people here do not look as scared as they should do when a bunch of vampires come trashing through your door and window. They look like people who fought vampires before, maybe on a regular basis, and also that have been taught that fear is not something you show to the enemy. There are also a lot of other people here who are also armed, who do not look quite so composed, but are nevertheless here to fight regardless. You will know that a lot of the retinue weren't warriors, they were company, or they were Amago's people, and you know how dear they are to him. Nevertheless, there are more people than you can count at a glance in this space, and what makes it harder is a lot of them are behind cover. As you burst in, a number of things happen. First is that a set of very bright lights turn on. Very bright lights, like floodlights, which become very kind of dazzling. And the second thing to happen is the sound of many guns opening up. But we'll come back to you guys in a minute. So, Velvet.
Yes.
You've been making it's been very stressful for you. You've been making lots of phone calls and lots of things happen. But you know,
such a busy night.
While everyone else is going off on a fun ride, you're doing real work.
Exactly.
So you've made arrangements such that there is a place for Matthew in America.
Yep.
How are you intending to get him? Are you just like putting him in a cab? Yeah.
No. So I think. So my hope is that I can make some kind of arrangement to send him, via boat or something of that, like as part of it, like in a cargo freight or something like that, so that he can be met at the port of New Orleans by the people I've arranged with.
If you're willing to throw money at this problem, it will go away.
Absolutely. I don't care. I mean, I care a little bit given his situation, but I don't care enough to waste the opportunity that tonight has presented me with. So I will pay to solve it.
Okay.
I do want him to agree that our boon is paid off, though.
Oh, he says you think you could easily make him owe you as a result.
Fine, then I'll do that.
Okay.
Actually, no. Sorry, no, I won't do that. I won't do that. Yep.
So he will say, as he's about to go, he says, "Thank you for this. No, it is a great position.
It's
May
not
I
a
ask you,
situation. Sure,
may I
of
ask
course.
you a question? Your Veem, are you close with them?
Some of them, yeah.
Are you close with the Toreador?
Depends on the day. You know, she sort of rubs folk up the wrong way. Why?
It takes him a while to realise that you're being kind of humorous. He seems too stressed to kind of clock the joke, but eventually he kind of goes, yes, well, then you should probably warn her.
Oh? Is she in danger?
He says, yes. My sire blames the Toreador for what happened to Prince Drogo.
Oh. All right. Well, you know what? That is, I'm grateful to you for passing that along. I will make sure that that nothing happens. Is she likely to come looking for her?
That's why she's busy. That's why she's not looking for me.
Shit. All right. All right. Thank you. I'm grateful to you. I will. I'll see to it that is sorted out. And for what it's worth, I understand something of your situation. So it's an easy decision to help you.
Well, when I am established, if you ever need a place to hide or be sent, then I will be good for it.
You might do me a favor when you get there. You can find out anything about Martha Riley. Will you let me know how she is?
Yes, of course. Well, I should go.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Safe travel.
He will hurry off into the night.
I will go and get Joanne out of the Haven. I appreciate we can't play that scene, but I'll put her in my flat that nobody knows where it is for the evening in case Sir Francis turns up there.
Okay. We may play that partly in memoriam because, of course, we don't yet know exactly where Joanne is going to be.
Exactly. If I can't find her, then different.
Yeah. But I appreciate that is your intention to find Joanne and get her safe. And next week, we'll find out if that's possible. So, in the interim, where's Velvet going next?
Sorry, I thought you were going back to them. I put myself on mute.
About to, but I just want to know where Velvet is going next.
So his original intention was to hang around somewhere near the Elysium base of getting hold of Brick. But if he can do that via getting hold of Adam, or like getting Adam in the car with him, so they can go there together, then that's what he'll do.
Sure. So I will assume that when we pick up with you in the next scene, you will be meeting Adam to go on to...
And if I've not contacted Barnaby and Soap and so forth, I'll do that. But yeah.
You've contacted them to say,
Sure.
I believe you said, like, be ready, but you haven't said.
Yeah, exactly.
Both Soap and Barnaby have agreed that they will be ready. So, back to our intrepid people in the factory. You are not surprised because, of course, you're expecting trouble. But what would you like your actions to be? As the lights are coming on and as they are beginning to aggress towards you, what would you like to do towards them?
Well, first and foremost, move to the side.
Many places to take cover.
Yeah, take cover and tell the people with me to take cover, and start trying to check without getting my face blown off. I'm gonna start shooting back, but I'm gonna start shooting towards the people that are trained for combat, not the red team.
So you're going to try and identify who are the threats.
I also turn around and see Meliore and look her in the eye and say, he's afraid of you. And look back at the lights.
Yeah, she nods. She will say, bring the dark, Theo.
Does anyone who is shooting at me has an automatic weapon?
Yes.
I focus my shots on that poor soul first.
So you're going to shoot at the person with the automatic weapon?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Silas, what about you?
This is such a bad idea. Such a bad idea as a player. I know this is a fucking terrible idea. But
Okay, wait. On a scale from 1 to Jim, how bad of an idea we're talking about? Okay, so okay.
5. 4. Oh, fine. So tell us what you're doing.
It's decently bad.
Season 4. Okay. What are you doing?
Silas blood's up. He's going to shove up Daunt and launch his fucking ass towards them, roaring, "Gimme to menyo no tamani."
Whoa, that's a good one.
Basically, for duty and honor.
Okay. So your action is to leap into the middle of them and then try and terrify as many people as possible.
Basically, using the leap to just scare the shit out of them. Basically, land and start swinging.
Something happens, Silas, as you leap forward. You feel infused with all of this, and you're trying to be as scary as possible.
Oh yeah.
You feel your blood surge within you as you do this. This feels right, and these people are wrong, and it feels right that you should set them to flee. That feels natural to you. I would like you to make a charisma and presence roll for me. Do you have? You can add your blood potency for any bonuses it gives to your disciplines.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be like a charisma plus intimidation and adding his presence because of Daunt?
No, because it's not Daunt I'm asking him to roll. It's something else that's happening.
Okay. Sorry.
So charisma and presence, please.
Discipline plus 1 for the blood potency. Blood potency. That's a 10.
You going willpower it?
You can obviously spend willpower if you want to. Probably don't want to though.
Silas would though. Silas absolutely would.
Yeah.
Okay, then go for it.
Under willpower, WP reroll.
Nothing's happening incidentally. So Kerstag, one moment, is by the door. Next, she is amongst a bunch of people. You will note, Theodore, that she seems to have jumped towards a couple of the people who look very competent.
Yes.
And you will see the maul swing not once, but twice, or the warhammer, sorry. And there will be the sound of breaking rib cages and flesh. And 2 bodies go like tennis balls flying into the air, into machinery and crumple. You believe that there is a significant, because there aren't that many very highly trained people here. And you think there are now very few highly trained people here. You found one of the others with the gun that you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Silas, what did you get?
I have 4 successes total.
Okay. I mentioned that there's a lot of people here who do not seem as kind of together, shall we say, but they are nevertheless armed and firing into this space. As you land, a predator amongst the sheep, you bare your fangs and you let out this oath, this roar of an oath. And many of the people break and run, scatter before you, as in your mind, as it should be, exactly as it should be. You will be aware of gunfire also coming from the back of the factory, the other end of the factory. And you will see sailing over some of the machinery from the back is Finn with a large axe. He will land not far away from Kerstag, in amongst some other people, and you will see blood. Well, I say you'll see, it's very hard with the bright light, but you will see flickers of red go across those bright lights. I should add, everything now that you're in the middle of things, Silas, is very hard to see. You're in a blinding white space. you know from the screams that you have sent the prey scattering. It feels good. So, Theodore, I believe you said you were shooting an individual with your gun.
Yes.
You will also be attempting to shoot you, won't you?
So do I...
What you got?
Okay. Doo-doo-doo. I only got 5 successes.
Only 5. So you exchange a round of fire with each other. Again, it's weird because you've been in gunfights like this with other ghouls before when you were a ghoul. But this guy fights like one of Amago's guys. He fights like you used to fight. Maybe that's what gives you the edge. You kind of know what he was going to do before he did it. So you shoot him. You don't think you've killed him. You do think you have seriously injured him. You definitely tagged him. He has collapsed kind of behind some machinery. Don't think he's in the best of shape. You wouldn't want to count him out though. You know you were dangerous even if you've been shot in the past.
Yeah, I gesture for the others to follow me because I'm gonna try to go around undercover.
So you start trying to make your way around. Silas and Theodore, you only vaguely see this because of the light is so bright around you all, but you can make out silhouettes and shapes. And near where Kerstag and Finn are fighting, someone pops up from behind some kind of bottle machinery with what looks like a shotgun. They pop up right next to Kerstag. I think they must have ducked down as she came in. And when they pull the trigger, you both have a flash of fear. The shotgun sounds loudly and point blank range pretty much on Kerstag. You see fire. Or at least it's weird. It looks almost dark against the bright blinding floodlights, but you do see fire and you feel it. And that part of you, Silas, that was like majestically lording it over everyone quavers briefly, because whilst, yes, it is right that the prey should flee from you, it is also right that perhaps you should flee from this. I'm going to give it, it's only difficulty 1, but I do want the 2 of you to make a terror frenzy check.
Okay.
Sure thing.
One success.
5 successes.
That's all you need. 5 successes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to add your humanity, right?
Oh, that is only my humanity. I'm out of one point, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yours looked like a... Yeah.
You both hold to this idea of why you're here. Fire is not that close to you. You don't need to run. The effort of doing so takes all of your attention for a moment. You're locked in battle with your own terror, just for a moment. And in that moment, a number of things happen. The people who have not been terrified by Silas, and there are still quite a few around, will open fire on you in a very haphazard, not very trained manner, but they will still nevertheless shoot at you. Silas, because you're nearer than this, you will hear very clearly, sorry, the silhouette of the man with a shotgun will duck back behind the machinery and you will hear the ch-ch of them reloading.
Mm-hmm.
Kerstag lets out an inhuman scream and, partially on fire, begins to run through the factory, knocking everything in her way aside. She's kind of moving in a haphazard way, away from the direction of the gunman. On that, she doesn't seem to be thinking very straight at the moment. Finn is partially in her way. And when she comes screaming at him, he goes screaming away from her. It's again very hard to make out things very clearly because of the light. After that moment, a few things happen. You realise you've got control of your bodies again. You're aware that the shooter is soon about to do something. Eleore says to you again, Theodore, bring the dark, Theodore, now.
I take a quick moment to see if I can see a breaker box.
You can't see very much at all. Everything is so bright and directed at you. You can look for one, but it will be a longer than normal. It's not a quick action to do so.
How many lights are there?
Okay.
Don't know. Several, but I mean, not, probably only, would guess, half a dozen. They're in kind of sets.
I tell Ota and Chen Li, like, duck and keep your heads down now. As in, like, this is going to get nasty.
They are on the floor, hands over their heads.
I step around the cover and I just summon the darkness inside me and I bring it into this place.
There is a lesson that you know from your years of teaching, which is, of course, that it's harder to use the power of your bloodline in the light. There is always darkness, always, whatever the time of day is, because it is inside of you. You draw that supernatural, that Everdark from inside yourself, and you cast it forward. And there is a weird kind of reassurance, a kind of defiance against this thing that Amago has tried to face you with as it spills out in front of you. Eleore presses her hands down onto your shadow as you do this, then seems to cast them upwards.
Do I have to roll for shadow cast?
You just have to make a rouse check.
Okay.
Power, but you don't have to roll to do it. It happens.
Okay. Whew, and I don't go hungry.
Silas, you are near enough to see this. It's very stark. You see, everything is very brightly lit. You vaguely know where the guy is with the shotgun behind the thing, and there are various other people around. I should add, in this thing of poorly shot things, like people were shooting earlier, I should add, by the way, that both of you will take a superficial point of damage from stray gunfire. Just the one. Yep. Whilst you were locked down.
Got it.
Man with a shotgun, as he's coming up to fire again, you see it's really weird. At first, it looks like there is a patch of just black against the white that's sliding very rapidly towards him. I mean, extremely fast, like someone had thrown a bucket full of black paint. But as it gets kind of closer, it seems to rise up and stretch out. And then you can't see the man anymore. It's just dark in the space where he was. You do hear something. You hear coming from within it.
And then I start running in that direction. I want that shotgun.
Okay. You break cover and run.
Mm-hmm. I just book it.
You book it.
Yeah.
Eleore will be following, but not quite as fast. Silas, there are still lots of people firing guns. What are you doing?
Silas is taking some out.
Okay, there is a man with a submachine gun who is trying to shoot Theodore as he runs across the space. There are also a number of other... Okay, how are you going to get to him?
Soaring leap.
Okay, so you move over the machinery, and with your blade, you come down upon him. Can you please make me an attack roll?
Okay, this is a...
Transform plus melee? Oh, but yeah, because you have a...
Strength plus melee, plus one and that. So you want that added to power. So that will be that. Only 3.
3 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is not a contested roll. because as you leap towards him, he stops trying to shoot Theodore and he starts trying to shoot you. And normally I would allow you to try and dodge him, but obviously what you're not trying to do is dodge him, you're trying to approach him. So you will take 6 points of superficial damage, halved to 3.
Yep.
So he opens his submachine gun up at you, but then you land on him with your sword. He is unable to dodge this, so he will take, I believe,
the margin is 2.
8 points of lethal, is that correct?
Yeah, 7 points of lethal, and I'll rouse to heal.
So a set of bullets pepper their way up the front of you, and you feel the impact, but you're so angry at this point, it doesn't kind of break your mood, and your blade cuts him down like a leaf of grass.
Yes.
And kill him instantly.
And I would like to rouse to heal as I'm turning.
You can certainly do that. So some of those wounds will immediately begin to clear.
I keep my shadow underneath Meliore, so she has direct access, because the only darkness here is my shadow.
Sure. So your shadow just stretches out behind you all the way to Meliore as you run across the space.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a few meters, not very much.
No. But Meliore is following you, obviously. So she's staying with your shadow. She's shadowing your shadow.
Hey.
And you see Theodore, Silas. Well, you probably don't, because you're now in a different space in the factory. So you've killed one of the last most threatening people in this space.
Yeah, I would assume Silas literally cut him in half.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I say, he was like a blade of grass to your blade. That was it. Dead. He's nothing. And some part of you revels in that strength, that power that you have. You're aware that there are people who were trying to flee the factory because they would rather do that than face you. However, you now see that because you've moved a bit deeper into the factory and you're no longer in the glare of the lights where you are here, but you can start to see more clearly that they've basically run into Seth, who's just shooting them, kind of like he's at the fun fair. Maybe the Silas of old might have reveled in that, but actually there's something in this that is a bit jarring to you. Kind of reminds you of what it was like at the end of the games. There is nothing human or lovely about the delight on Seth's face as he blows people, screaming terrified people who are admittedly armed but don't seem to know really what they're doing, limb from limb, repeatedly. He himself looks like he's got a few bullet holes in his shirt, but he doesn't seem bothered by this, as far as you can tell. All right. So, things begin to settle within the factory.
Do I get to the place where the shotgun
You get to the place where the darkness is, but the darkness, and as you're arriving, the darkness moves, seemingly of its own accord.
Yep.
Sliding across the ground, pouncing almost upon some other people. But as it leaves, you see that the man who was there is now laying unconscious on the ground. There are a number of other people who are also with him.
Oh, great. I holster my gun, grab the shotgun, grab the dude, and without any consideration for however painful this might be, I start draining as much blood as I can.
Sink your fangs into his flesh and you begin to drink. This blood, the taste you remember to it, has the taste of Amago somewhere mixed in with it. That is an odd feeling for you now. You've not tasted that in a long time. You begin to drain him. How much you drain? I'm assuming you are draining him fast until you are no longer hungry.
Yes. That's it. That is exactly it.
Okay. Silas, what are you doing?
There
are people... Sorry, go on.
Were you saying about other people? You go first.
There are a few people left. Seth hasn't killed everybody yet, but it's only a few now.
Are there any that look to be easy to grab and feed upon?
Yes.
Then we'll do that. And
okay, you kind of perform a similar action to Theo.
Yeah. For probably the same.
As you are,
he says,
as you are doing that, as you are feeding, and you feel the nourishment coming into you, and it is good. You are hungry, and it's good to feed. You will begin to hear above you the sound of a helicopter starting up.
Run to.
I'll come back to you.
Ah!
So, Velvet.
Yep.
You are meeting up with Adam. Are you picking him up in a car?
Yeah, Silas's car.
Okay, so you pick him up in Silas's car.
I apologised for the state of Silas's car because it's bound to be shitter than mine. So,
I mean, actually, it's probably. I'm guessing it's messier, but it's actually extremely well cared for.
Yes, but it's not like a high-end car, right?
It's not super pampering for your bottom, no.
Right, yeah. So yes, but otherwise, yeah, I'll get him from wherever he is.
He gets into the car, sits with you. Are you driving anywhere with him, or are you just sitting in the car with him?
I'll drive somewhere that we're not likely to be seen.
Sure. So you're going to go somewhere quiet, a little bit out of the way.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah.
No problem. He says, "Is everything all right?"
That's a good question. I was gonna say yes, but I really don't know what your perspective will be on this. So, if you don't, remember how Helena said that we all needed to decide if we were gonna stay or go.
Yes.
And I thought about it because I thought, you and I, maybe we could leave and we wouldn't have to deal with this. Then I realized it's not enough. It's not enough to just leave. Because if he finds us, that's it. And also, Freddie is here. And he is nothing if not vindictive. And so I got thinking about it. And as it was today, I happened to have a conversation with him, and it turns out he's got duties to attend to today. They're going to put him on his own. So I got to thinking if enough of us got together and we found him, then we could solve our problem for good. Now I have Brick, I have Soap, and I have Barnaby, and I don't know if I have you. I mean, in the sense, I don't know if that's enough. People.
If you're going to do this, I can't stand by and not be there. If you really think, if you can look me in the eye and you really think we have a chance against him, I mean,
I think the group of us do.
Really?
Well, really? He told me that that his brother is better at this sort of thing than he is. Now, I don't think that means he's not good at it, but I think there's never going to be a better chance. And I don't want to not take it. He's wronged you worse than he's wronged me. But either way, there are too many, what's the right word? There are too many things converging on this opportunity not to take it. He is so careful, Adam, all the time. He doesn't put a foot wrong, he watches everything. But I followed him today after he left the Haven, and he wasn't watching. He was distracted. He decided not to come on Theodore's party to take care of Amago. And I managed to get Seth to go on that party and Serenolf. So he doesn't have the people around him that he normally has. He doesn't have Seth to do those things for him.
You know, we'll have to deal with Seth one day too. Do this. Unless you think we can hide it from him.
I don't see why not. He ain't the sharpest tool in the box, right? Besides, I'm not exactly planning on telling anyone this happened. We get this done. He's gone. There are plenty of ways to get rid of his body such that no one could ever do anything about it. And then he's just a guy who went missing. No one knows if he left or not. Even if they look for him, there's not a reason to suspect other things.
You know that he won the games, don't you? Well,
I know that he cheated to win it like everybody does. It doesn't have any meaning.
Okay.
Why does that matter anyway?
I'm just saying it. I'm just saying he's going to be dangerous, that's all. Not very dangerous.
You can't take that as read, right? You know how Drogo had things pulled in Silas's favor. Guaranteed he would have done the same for this. That means he might not have won if that wasn't the case. It's not evidence that he is some undefeatable nemesis.
Okay.
And besides, I gotta stand up for myself. What?
If you really believe we can do this, then I'll stand with you.
It's been 10 years, Adam. This is not the life we should have had. This is not the life we should have had. You should have been my sire. He murdered me to keep us from being together. And he murdered both of us again for the same reason.
Yeah.
So that doesn't solve itself till he's gone.
Take your hand in his and squeeze it and say, then let's put things right.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll leave your scene.
Okay.
Let's go back to the happy campers in the factory.
Okay.
So you can hear a helicopter starting up above you.
I just book it. I call for Chen-Li and Ota.
Have I been able to take any blood?
Yeah. I'll say you both had one level of hunger back. Do you want to stay to take any more, or are you leaving that and running for the thing? Okay.
I was leaping.
So
One level of hunger is enough.
Yep. Leaping.
I do what normal people do.
Run.
I just go up the stairs with Meliore, Ota, and Chen-Li in tow.
Yep.
Okay. It's fair to say that Chen-Li and Ota are not exactly making haste. They are following in your wake, looking around very nervously as they go. You will see that when Seth hears the helicopter, he'll start running, like flat out running, whilst also doing a pretty good job of reloading his shotgun as he goes. Now, I'm going to assume, Theodore, you are not flat out running. You were just going quickly. Is that correct?
Well, I am as flat out running as I can over a stairwell.
Okay. So
for an almost 60-year-old man.
Right. So what this means is, Silas, you will arrive significantly first.
Yep.
Then Seth, then Theodore and Meliore, because neither of them are particularly nippy on their feet.
Because as well, Silas is using his parkour skills.
You'll be there, definitely.
You bounce and fly like off the walls. You swing over stairwells, and you will find yourself because it's not. Although it's been barred again, it is trivial for you to break open, assuming you want to do this. The door to the stairwell.
Yep.
And you will come to the roof of the factory, which has been set up in such a fashion that it can handle a helicopter on top of it.
Yep.
You recognise the helicopter. It's got a few bullet holes in it, and it also has a broken lamp on the side of it. It also has a gunman sitting inside.
Mm-hmm.
And you will also, because it's actually reasonably well lit up here, you will see, because the helicopter has internal lights, you will see Naoto sitting inside the helicopter. Between you and the helicopter is a one-armed man who is making his way, not especially fast, towards the helicopter.
I will rouse to heal, because I need to heal a little bit more. And I go back to Hunger 3.
Okay.
And about how far away is the helicopter?
The helicopter or Amago?
Fuck. His ambitions against Amago.
Okay. I tell you what, I will give you back an aggravated point of willpower because you found him.
Yes, thank you very much.
Literally set eyes upon him. So you have taken a step towards completing your ambition. You can have an ag back. You could soaring leap past him. You would land near the helicopter, but you would also land with your back to him.
I mean, he's not going to do that. He's going to do the same thing as he did with the guy.
So are you just leaping on Amago without warning, as it were? You're not shouting, and you're just going to go. Are you going? Okay. So could you make an attack roll?
Yep. I am literally terrified. I am shaking right now.
It's an entirely appropriate thing to be. You leap into the air, blade held high, object your ambition. This is the chance to restore the honour of Oxfordshire. You sail through the air, you walk down, you rouse, the blood courses through your undead body. Muscles are pumped, tensed. He only has one arm, after all. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? He does not seem to be expecting your attack. I mean, maybe he's an expert in combat and is just pretending, but he,
Fuck it, I'll just gain a point of willpower back. I'll willpower.
Okay. Easy come, easy. Well, but also it's only superficial. So
that is 5 success. No, sorry. For 7 successes, critical win.
Okay, so 7.
Yeah. Plus 5 damage from sword.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to find the right health tracker. All right. Remember how you struck that guy before and he was like a blade of grass? This is like you have leapt through the air and swung at a concrete wall. The blade does hit his back and it does cut through the fabric of his clothing and bite into his skin. You know how strong you were.
Mm-hmm.
You know for a fact that you should have cut him in half or at the very least brought him to his knees. Neither of these things happen. Slam into him. You definitely injure him. And he's missing an arm still. He still looks like a walking wreck. I mean, he does look in a mess. You don't think he can have that much left in him, but you do not bring him down. Before anyone else arrives, the blade is like biting still into the back of his shoulder. You're kind of standing behind him. He turns to look at you over his shoulder. He says to you in not very good English, "Fall on your sword." So, I would like you to make for me an intelligence and resolve roll.
Okay. I'll rouse.
Cool.
2.
Theodore, you are obviously running up the stairs at this point. Silas has flown like a bullet. You are aware, Silas, of course, that the good thing about you having hit him and also made him stop to turn to look at you is you have slowed him down. Whatever else is about to happen. Yeah. So what did you get?
I got 2.
2 successes. Well, I'm afraid that is not even
close
enough.
Yeah.
So he says that to you, and the most awful thing happens. You find yourself complying with his command. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to make an attack roll upon yourself at static difficulty.
I would like to also point out I'm on hunger 5.
Okay.
Oh, you're going to temporize.
Yep. Okay. Strength.
Whilst that's going on, Seth, I believe, will reach the top. You, Theodore, will see him go up there, and then you will hear gunfire. Lots and lots of gunfire. Some of it sounds like shotguns. Some of it sounds like high-caliber weapons from helicopters. Some of it sounds like other kinds of gunfire.
Wow, Silas. I'm sorry. I heard your description, Peter, but I'm checking out. And Phil just roll. That's 4, 5. So
that's
2,
9 successes, critical fucking win. Why can I roll against fucking messy critical?
Would have been awesome if you rolled that against Amago. It's true because he hasn't got that much. So you halve that, obviously.
Yeah.
You're going to take 5 levels of superficial.
5 levels of superficial. Okay.
Impaired.
Impaired and 1 point of aggravated.
Okay. So you become aware, Silas, as you are performing this attack upon yourself, as you drive the blade deep into your own flesh. You run yourself through on this sword. You're aware of Seth coming, charging across the rooftop, unloading his shotgun repeatedly whilst he's running towards the helicopter. Amago now actually does turn around and draw his sword. Person in the helicopter fires at Seth. Naoto has produced a handgun. He is firing at Seth. There's a kind of an exchange of bullets. You are not very aware of how this plays out, however, because you are busy impaling yourself. You are aware of gunfire.
Motherfucker.
When you have finished running yourself through, you realize that you are still standing. Amago is standing watching you with an air of almost infinite patience. No anger on his face, just watching you, just to kind of see what you're going to do.
Yeah, are you going more to say about that? Or is that...
No, I have nothing more to say. What would you like to do? Theodore is going to be at least another round.
Silas will pull out the sword.
Stamina.
I can't rouse to heal. He will look to Amago and say once again, give me to Mayo no Tamani.
The same. For duty and honor.
The duty and honor. And go for him again.
Okay, excellent. You go for Amago. And around this time, Seth also arrives at your side. He also seems to be going for Amago.
Yeah.
I would like you to make a roll, Silas, for me.
Yep, that's minus. As I'm physically impaired, that's -2 to physical.
Yes.
Yeah? It's 2, which cancels out the speciality and the blood thing. So, okay. So just no modifier. Give me something good. Yeah. Hopefully that'll do.
So tell me what you got, Silas.
5.
All right. So here's what happens. You go for Amago. Your sword catches his as it comes up and does strike him a glancing blow. But not enough that seems to bother him. At least if it does hurt him, he doesn't react in any way as if it has. You realise moments afterwards that he wasn't really going for you. You think he was just trying to stop you from doing anything too serious. His true target is Seth. You see Seth's legs, lower body, carry on sliding towards the helicopter, and his upper body lands next to you.
Okay.
Is it around this point, Theodore, you reach top of the stairs, Meliore? It is at this point, I'm going to pause the session.
Ah! No! I already have a plan. No.
I mean, the scene
Beautifully done. Beautifully done.
That comes up to is Silas
Half a set,
rock swords,
barely a side, and yeah.
and Seth rock swords with this guy.
So we're clear. As Theo, you come up, you will see there is gunfire from the helicopter, and certainly Naoto will immediately see you the moment that you turn up.
Yep.
You will see Amago's strike coming to an end, Seth's body hitting the ground. Silas obviously engaged in battle.
Okay.
That is where we will leave it. Now, I'm having a quick debate internally of whether I should give Velvet a stain for not being true to his lord.
Oh, you definitely should.
He gave away the location of
Enel.
to Enel's Haven to someone from another clan that he only vaguely knows. So I'm going
point
to
of fact, Theodore, I am
and you
the
can
coolest
make a
poacher.
remorse roll.
Or shall I do that now?
Yeah, do it now.
So remorse is down where browse checks are. Oh wait! You just rolled one die.
What? How many dice am I rolling? One is what came up.
No, when you roll remorse, what's your humanity?
5.
Your humanity is 5.
You should be rolling like 4 dice.
You're rolling 4 dice, so you
Four
should write
dice.
remorse die 4.
Okay, fine. There you go.
Tension mounts.
2 successes. Okay. Whew. Yeah, and you call Theodore a monster. You have less humanity than him.
Yeah, but that's because I don't care about lords.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't care about
That was me telling Chad. Theodore is a teddy bear.
Yeah.
So, thank you to my lovely players, and well done for surviving so far.
Thank you for the session. To our storyteller.
Yeah.
Thank you to Callum. This is Callum Appreciation Week.
Thank you, Callum.
I
Sorry
made
for
sure-
moving around too much.
I made sure to let Chad know.
I heard on the grapevine that there is a fabulous doodle of Silas and Kirstag on a motorcycle from
Yeah.
Kirsty, which
It's
check
amazing.
out.
Loving
so
that.
much. Thank you
Absolutely
so
loving
much. I just yeah. Oh yes, yes.
Thank you. That does look epic.
Really
and thank all of you for coming and watching. If you would like to know what happens on the rooftop of the factory between 2 of our coterie and see what Velvet and Joanna are going to get up to, do come join us next week for season 3, episode 4. And see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this episode of Blood on the Tamesis. If you'd like to keep up with all the latest news, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And remember, if you want to join us live, be sure to tune in every Monday at 7 PM UK time on Twitch. Or you can catch up on YouTube and our podcast. And a big thanks to our supporters on Patreon and all of you beautiful disaster ghouls. We'll see you next time.